So hi everybody, I'm Paisley Yankolovich and you're not. Get it?
Hi, Paisley.
All right, a bigger stretch would be, hi, my name's Paisley, what's yours? And anyone who really got that joke, I would give one of my gumball quarters to. And you'd have to come to me afterwards and tell me where that's from. Now what's going to happen is really clever people are going to go online and try to figure out where that's from. And anyone who figures it out is going to have a very good laugh on me. Now, that having been said, I want to talk about something that's not funny. I got to get serious if I'm going to get serious. But so on the ad for the event ad for this show tonight, I called it Bloody Mama's Day, and I had a picture of it with some chick holding a machine gun. And I swear people contacted me and said, that's an interesting look for you, Paisley. For reals. Or someone actually said, are you going for the Shelley Winters thing? I'm like, no, that is Shelley Winters. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? My gosh, if you look at it, it doesn't look a thing like me. It doesn't look a thing like anything I can make myself look like. And there was a brilliant movie back in the 60s called Bloody Mama. I guess it might have been 1971 actually. Bloody Mama, and it was about Ma Barker and her gang, and Robert De Niro, I guess one of his early film roles, is directed by Roger Corman, and Shelley Winters played Bloody Mama. And I always keep that picture, and every year I post a Bloody Mama Mother's Day picture, and I post a Frank Zappa Mothers of Invention picture. Get it? So, and it's so weird. Do I not know my audience? What are they thinking? What are they thinking? Are you going for a Shelley Winters look? No, that is Shelley Winters. Someone else wrote, and they're all going to hear this. They're all going to be like, he made fun of me. I go, you know what? Take your medicine. You know, someone else wrote me and goes, God, that's a very scary picture with a frowny face. I'm like, it's a joke, damn it. My gosh, you spent 5 minutes with me. I say and do far worse than a freaking picture of a famous actress holding a really dumb-looking machine gun from the Prohibition era. I don't know. What are they thinking? I don't know. But then again, somebody wrote me today from Liberia and they want to give me like $30 million, and all I have to do is give them my bank account.
Yeah, sure.
What are they thinking? What are they thinking? You really have to wonder what goes on in people's mind. I mean, all the internet scams and all the stuff and all the viruses, and I don't know what everyone else's experience is like, but I get something that has a virus in it every single day of my life, either on my website emails or my personal email or on Facebook. Every single day of my life now. Anything from really raunchy, pornographic title. I mean, I don't open anything. If you send me a video or something without a note attached to it on Facebook, I'll write you back and say, is this safe to open? Because even if I know you, that doesn't mean your account wasn't hacked. So I don't open anything. Unless it says they're going to give me like $36 million. That would pay for a lot of broken computers now, wouldn't it? But what are these people thinking? What goes through a person's head when they send viruses? And yeah, now machines are sending them, but it started with human beings. What goes through people's head? They think they're doing something that's right for them to do. Whoever does this stuff, they think this makes sense. This is logical. You can keep passing that around, and when it gets up here, I'll pass it that way. But they think it makes sense. This is right to them. Not wrong to them. This is right to them. I sang songs of outrageous abuse that seemed right to the perpetrators. I sing songs of desertion all the time. It's ultimately my favorite subject to write and sing about, and that is desertion. The desertion of family and friends out of our lives, because that is the thing that does the most horrific damage to a human being. Abuse, at least you're getting attention. But desertion is something completely different. They're just gone, and you just live with memories and ghosts. And all these horrible things that people think up makes perfect sense to them. I want to make sure I say everything that was on my notes, because it was really, I didn't have a lot of notes tonight. See, I had no notes, but I had those things. It says Bloody Mama in Liberia. So what's going on in my head that I think it makes sense to open the email from someone in Liberia when God knows what this is, but I could slip on it and die.
Sorry.
None of your beeswax. I just thought of that. You see that? And there's a really great story why I actually thought of it. That's something, I'm not going to waste any more time, but that's really weird. Remind me later to tell you. Anyone who wants to hear it later, I'm not going to take up the time now, but that's really weird because I swear 2 hours ago I didn't know that that was made out of beeswax. So I just saw it on the internet. I saw it on the internet. Okay, I'll tell you, I was running low on mine and I wanted to figure out how to make it at home, and they said, use this kind of wax because it's not vegan if it's made with the other stuff, which is beeswax. That's how I knew. What are the odds? What are they thinking? What is anybody thinking when they do anything that they do? I'm a minister, and I address people on the subject of the Almighty. That's what I do. That's what I've done for 33 years. That's what I do. So my world, welcome to it, is entirely about what are we thinking? What are we thinking, and where are these thoughts coming from? You know, the people of God are supposed to be the people of God. And they're supposed to have this relationship with the Almighty. And relationship is built on communication and trust and experience. So let's just only think about communication tonight. The people of God think they have a relationship with God, and relationship is based on their communication. They pray, God moves, maybe God talks. God what? Maybe God, what? God talks to them? Really? There will be a lot of I'm right and everyone else is wrong here tonight. But that would, next to desertion being the thing I like to write and sing about the most, one of my favorite things to talk about is how right I am and how wrong everyone else is. See, that would be a very, very loose translation of the meaning of the word preacher. I'm right and everyone else is wrong. If we're in relationship with God, we're having some kind of communication with God. And I assume for most people, it's happening somewhere in their thinker. There's something to do with thoughts. Very few people walk around and say, God talks to me audibly all the time. You know, so usually God whispered me in my ear, meaning He put a thought in my head. Or after I did something, I realized that came from a thought, and that thought came from God talking to me. Wouldn't it be nice if I taught everyone how to hear God tonight? I'm not doing that. I'm going to start the process by saying, if you're in relationship with anyone on planet Earth, is there not communication? I talk to my pets more than I talk to all of other human beings put together, and we have dialogue. It's not one-sided. It's not one-sided. I can tell you anytime what my dog and cat are thinking. I can tell you anytime what your dog and cat are thinking too. That's why I know you're a good pet owner. Because I had a little chat. But the truth is I'm not talking weird by saying that. But all relationship is built on some level of communication. So if you have a relationship with God, according to you, there's communication. How does God talk to you? And what does God say to you? And how do you know that it's God and not just pooey? Because I hear a lot of pooey being passed as God talking to people nowadays. I want to use an example, but I'm going to ask everyone, since there's going to be a bit of a twist at the end of what I say about this, you might want to wait before snickering about this person to hear what I'm going to say at the end of it, so you don't feel a little embarrassed that you snickered. But there's a thing going around on the internet about some Trumpster who's a Christian who is a tow truck driver who refused to tow the truck of a woman who was broken down when he saw she was a Bernie supporter. And everyone's talking about what a shitty Christian this guy is. And he says that God told him right then and there, that's a Bernie supporter, don't tow her car. This is the part you'd want to snicker at, right? Trust me, I struggle with that. That it actually is the voice of the Almighty telling someone not to tow someone's car because they're a Bernie supporter. Okay? I'm with everybody on this one. However, all the people that I know that are posting on Facebook about this event own and wear out in public t-shirts that say, "Fuck Trump." And one in particular bragged on the internet that he wore "Fuck Trump" into Costco, and the woman who rang him up, God help her soul, said, "I'm not voting for him. I'm a Bernie supporter." And he bragged on Facebook that he responded with, "That's why you're just a piece of shit, white trash nothing, working for minimum wage at Costco."
Who the hell is he?
First off, I'll eat a bug if anyone has a better job than the person working in Costco.
Thank you.
Second off, I don't think it was wise of that person to say anything. I was wearing a Halloween, the movie, t-shirt at Safeway once, and a cashier in front of a huge line of people said, "I'm a Christian and I don't like that stuff. I think that's really bad. Halloween and Jason and Freddy Krueger, and I think wearing that lets demons out." She said to the minister wearing the shirt, in front of a bunch of people who are all waiting to see what I was going to do next. I said, "Listen, you fucking idiot. What caused you to open up your big old white trash mouth and tell me you were any better?" No. I said, says the lovely woman in front of all these people to embarrass me to no end, not knowing I don't embarrass easily. Now, can we talk about what you're wearing, lady? And everyone applauded, and what was she thinking? What's the guy wearing the "Fuck Trump" t-shirt out in public thinking? What is wrong with a Trumpster saying to someone, God told me I don't have to tow your car if it's okay for a Hillerite to wear a t-shirt that says "Fuck Trump" into Costco? It's all the same. There's a bunch of people thinking their thinking is right. And a lot of these people profess to be Christian. They profess to be God's people. They profess to hear God, not just the tow truck guy. A lot of us profess that. Well, I'm going to tell you something. As much as humanity would like to really, really, really water this truth down, The truth is, some of us are right and some of us are wrong. What we're not is right sometime and wrong sometime. That is not true. So Paisley, if you say you hear God, you're saying you hear God all the time and you're never wrong. I think I just said that. Paisley, we've seen your life. One success after another. One success after another. Ask anyone that I've said to them on their behalf, this is what God has told me for you. And find me someone who said I steered them wrong. Find me one person on planet Earth who will say I've steered them wrong and I will eat a live bug. Wow, you weren't kidding about the I'm right and everybody else is wrong thing. You know, it's funny because my Bible, whatever that means now, has some guy in it named Jesus, whatever that means now. And Jesus said, whatever that means now, my sheep will know my voice. And what he exactly was saying is, my sheep will be the ones who know my voice, then there will be everyone else. Then there will literally just be everyone else. The people who've truly committed their lives to me will hear me in their lives. Somehow, some way, they will have my guidance in their lives. You're still going to make mistakes. You're still going to try things out because you're not going to hear God on everything because He's not doing a running DVD commentary on every little thing you do. But if and when He feels like talking to you, you will hear Him. So you won't be saying stupid shit like God told me not to tow your car because you're going to vote for Bernie. God may have said something to him. He may have felt the powerful presence of the Holy Spirit come on him and say something. But it might have been, that person's a Bernie supporter and I need you to cool your jets. This is an opportunity to make peace with mankind. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with you. Right here, right now, make something nice happen. But God starts talking, and just like pretty much when you people talk, I hear what I want to hear at the beginning, and I either act immediately and know what the answer is going to be, or I shut down immediately because I don't like what you're saying, and I do my own thing. So he may hear God in his life, but he ain't listening. Or he may, yeah, none of that works. The point is those who are truly dedicated to hearing God in their life are those who are truly submitted to God in their life, and those people will hear Him eventually. That is a fact. That is the word of the Lord. That is the word of the Lord. And it takes a lot of trial and error. It takes a lot of Bible study. It takes a lot of questioning people that you trust who seem to be hearing God in their life. It takes a lot to have a real relationship with our Father in heaven. But it all comes down to how submitted to Christ's Lordship are we in this life? To what degree? Because let's face it, most likely the voice of God in our life is going to be somewhere in our head with a million other voices. And we get to pick which voice is the good one. We are living in a time where more people are saying, God told me, Jesus says, the Lord says, than any other time in American history. We're hearing it more than any other time in American history, mostly because of the internet. God's people really haven't changed much, but because of the internet and the way we get news so fast, and they have to find something every 2 seconds for us to consume, we're hearing so much. I know now that when I say I'm a Christian, I'm going to be judged in a whole new way than I was judged 10 years ago. 5 years ago, when I was wearing dresses and combat boots performing on the street, I'm going to be judged different than I was 5 years ago because of that. I know when I say things, I hear the voice of God in my life, I've just escalated how much I'm going to be judged. When I go to the next level and say, I hear the voice of God for your life, and that anytime 24/7 you can come to me, and without trying, I will tell you exactly what God has to say about your circumstance that you ask me about. Now I'm nuts. Now I'm a crackpot. When I cross the line and talk about the way the world should look, and how all humans should act, and what rights and freedoms people should have, I'm one of them. The irony of it is I'm not one of them. I'm the opposite of one of them, still within their camp. I'm an anti-Christian Christian. I really am. I spent the majority of my ministry in 33 years apologizing to people for the way they've been treated by Christians in church. I spent almost my entire life doing it, day in and day out. And then I get to hear the horror stories and have people tell me off and say I'm just like it, and even if you associate yourself with Christianity, you're one of these people, even if you're one of the good ones. Every day of my life. And what do? Instead of finding something else to talk about, I go after aggressively wrong Christianity. I go after it aggressively because that's who I am. People listen to me. So I am convinced that if I shine a light, darkness will disperse. It has to. It has to. As the Ice Age occurs and the dinosaurs start dying off, we're going to see less and less of big, powerful church leaders. But that's not the case today. Today we have mouthpieces for Christ that every time their mouth opens, someone puts it on the internet, what they said. And the internet is no longer on our computers in our houses or offices. It's on our phones. Comes in this news feed on our phones. I mean, this is every second of every day. We are bombarded. Now, remember when we used to say that about half-naked women in advertising to shame women into feeling inadequate about themselves? How you were bombarded with that in your culture, and then you were bombarded with sex in your culture. We're bombarded with so-called Christian speak in our society so much right now. How does anyone hear the voice of God in their life when the people of God are saying such hateful, dishonest things? There's a restaurant called Chick-fil-A. You might have heard of it. And what's the biggest guy? The CEO, is that what they are? Mr. Filet thought it made sense to brag on Christian radio, not on Christian radio, on radio, that a portion of the proceeds from his company, billions and millions and millions of dollars, go into stopping gay marriage, under the guise of protecting traditional marriage, of course. And when the gay community said we no longer go to Chick-fil-A, Christians cried foul. I'll just wait. You'll get it. They cry foul on Chick-fil-A. Get it? Foul. Get it back there? I want to make sure I got my dumbass joke before I go on. I know, it's just terrible.
Love it.
And when they cry foul on it saying that we're pushing the gay agenda onto Christians. No, you said we don't like you. We're going elsewhere. What's the big whoop-de-doo? My gosh. I don't see you boys at the anvil. So, or the rusty nail. What other gay bar names can I make up? So, you know what I'm saying? I got one more. The hot rod. I don't see these boys at the hot rod. So, I can go on. This is terrible. We'll be here all night. So, moving on. They made their move, and people responded as they saw fit. Recently, the mayor of New York said all these new Chick-fil-A's are opening here in New York, and because of their stance on protecting traditional marriage, I think everyone should boycott them. What was he thinking? What was he thinking? Hard to say. Well, much like the I won't tow your car because of the Bernie thing and the fuck Trump t-shirt thing, Reverend Graham, the younger one, came out and said, this is an act of discrimination and bullying. If you ever want to know what WTF means, that's it. That's it. This is now the third time I've done this. I don't think that man hears God. I do not think that man hears God. I really just don't. And before anyone gets all upset, because people come after me and say, you shouldn't go after people like that. Do you think he would think I hear God for a second? Do you think if he went on PaisleyYankolovich.com or YouTube, he'd say, that man hears God? Please. Let's just be honest here. Whatever he's thinking about being able to discern and decide who makes it in and who doesn't make it into the kingdom, he can't tell me I can't do it back. That's the tow truck fuck Trump thing rule that I'm using tonight. But I don't think he hears God. I think that he discriminates and bullies. And he organizes troops to discriminate and bully. And thinks nothing of it. And he certainly doesn't think it's discrimination and bullying. And God knows that's exactly what bullies are like. Bullies don't go home and say, Mom, I'm the school bully.